Hi, everybody. My name is Jorge. I'm a content developer and developer advocate for Wilderness Labs. And I want to show you, I want to kick off the session on Meadow from start to awesome. So this session is ideal for people who are wanting to, they don't know much about Meadow. What does it look like when you're developing, when you're going to start working on Meadow, getting on IoT, getting your hands on a board. So I have structured the session in these 5 big points that most people would want to work on Meadow. So the first big thing happening here is coding on C#, F#, Visual Basic. We all have support of all these languages using .NET. So basically, when you get your board right out of the box, you're able to already start using these applications. So let me share my screen here. Let me share my board. I'm gonna bring up my camera. I want to show you my board. I have a little setup here. Cam. Here you go. Okay, here's my Droid Cam. And this is what you will be getting when you have your first hands-on on using Meadow. This is the dev kit. It comes with a breadboard and a prototyping board and this fancy wooden board here, so you can have all your setup ready to go. And the only thing basically that you'll need to use when you're to use Meadow and deploy is basically go to the extensions and just go into the gallery and look for VS Tools for Meadow. And that's basically what you would need to get started on deploying .NET applications. So basically, why do we need this extension? Basically, it'll give you access to all the different project templates for making .NET Meadow applications. So if I create a new project, I search for Meadow, and I can show you here that we have support for Meadow applications in C#, F#, and Visual Basic. And you can also create Meadow libraries, which is basically like a little repository of files that you can use as a library for creating drivers, which is something that we use all the time, especially for Meadow Foundation, which we'll talk a little bit later on. And so, yeah, the moment that you create an application, you'll be greeted with this sandbox app that has already access to using the RGB LED on board, which is this little LED that is right here. And it can already tell you how the paradigm of how using Meadow is basically using this initialize method. Is basically what we're telling is when you're connecting your peripherals to Meadow, you have to specify on which pins these peripherals are connected in order to create some object of these peripherals, and then we can use them later on in the code. So I'm going to go and I'm going to show you something a little more exciting this time. So I have this application. It's an accelerometer sensor with some directional LEDs. And I want to show you real fast. Yes, so the application for this is basically we have 4 sets of LEDs. And again, the initialize method right here, we specify on which pins are connected, which are these blue lines here. And we have the MPU 6050, which is our accelerometer sensor right here. And basically, it just needs a simple prototyping communication bus. It's called I2C. So just what we need to do is just pass in the I2C protocol. And we have an event handler whenever the sensor detects movement. And we have our event handler right here. And basically, it'll just keep track of where the sensor is moving, and it'll turn on and off those LEDs. So if I can show you here, if I'm moving them on these directions, you can see how the LEDs are moving. So yeah, that's basically one of the things that I wanted to show you. The other thing we covered already was developing a Visual Studio. And with B6, using debugging, no more console write line. It's something that, we've been waiting for a while, and we got it working finally. Modern development practices, everything, all paradigms, design patterns, everything that you've learned and love about working with .NET and mobile and either Xamarin or .NET, WinForms. You can also do all these design patterns into Meadow. You don't have to learn any new things. It's everything just going to be really familiar. And another big thing is the packed hardware that the board already comes with. And the what I'm referring to specifically is having Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capabilities right from the get-go. So this will allow us to actually have the eye on OT, so you can connect to your internet, you can send login information to the cloud, to Azure or whatever service you have, the Amazon cloud. And also, if you are in remote places, you don't have access to the internet, you at least have Bluetooth, so you can go over with your phone, and you can just pair your device. You can start gathering data that way without being reliant to have Wi-Fi around. Another example I wanted to show you is, and this one's really cool. This one's I've been working for a while, and I wanted to show it on Hackster, but I want to show it here as well. And this is my little rover, and this is a 3D print board that I made with and that I printed for PLA. And this has already it's an H-bridge sensor, an H-bridge motor controller. These already comes in the hack kit. So basically, all this with a hack kit, you can build it yourself. And I want to show you this working with my little app here. I'll show you my screen of my board, but here's a controller. And you can see right from the start, it's already paired up. So if I can start moving, there you go. Let me make the camera a little bit bigger. And this was really simple to make. I'll have a session later on to show you in more detail how to work with Bluetooth, specifically for Klima. But basically, you can also tweak, or you can apply the same pattern of using Bluetooth to any other of your IoT solutions that you're working on. In this case, I have the rover working, and so yeah, that's something that I think it's really relevant to have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on board. No longer need to have any shields to do that, and a massive driver library. So we I already showed you how to create these peripherals very easily using here Meadow applications. But there's something called Meadow Foundations that we'll talk a little bit later. But it's basically a platform or a massive library of drivers that are available to you from the start. So if we go to the peripheral drivers, you can see all the different peripherals that you can just download, add it into your app, instantiate them, tell them to which pins are connected to your Meadow board, and you already has an APIs right out of the gate, so you can start working with these sensors without fiddling with data sheets and all that. So that's basically what I wanted to show you for the getting started from start to awesome.